Our next speaker is with the Florida Board of Massage Therapy, and I've had the privilege of serving on the board with her for a year. I actually was on the board for 8 years, so I know the commitment and dedication that you give and your time, and the fact that you are coming here to spread the message. I think it's so important that you hear straight from the Board of Massage, you know, the laws and the rules and the updates and everything. So Karen Ford is here tonight, and she's currently the chairman of the Board of Massage Therapy.
I've got to apologize, by the way.
For the second year in a row.
Last year was the first year I'm there, so I didn't have anything to say. Now, what did I just talk about at the beginning? Ask questions and listen. Well, guess what I didn't do this last year? Maybe it's because she's the chair of the board, but the last thing I should be is afraid of the chair of the board of massage, same as you, because she's really one of you. So very important that you are a friend, because you someday can be the chair of the board. And this is a wonderful lady, and she is going to tell you all about it. And bless her heart, next year I'm going to say something bad.
I'm used to holding these things. I'm not used to speaking, I'm used to singing. So you'll have to forgive my public speaking is not it's a favorite thing for me to do. Okay. Well, as they said, I'm the chair of the Florida Board of Massage Therapy, and we want nothing more than for you to succeed, okay? However, sometimes good therapists can get into trouble. So the best way to avoid this is through knowledge of your Practice Act and awareness of these 10 points that we're going to talk about tonight. These 10 points are disciplinary issues that are most frequently violated, okay? So compliance with these points will protect you and keep your massage practice on track for success. So before we go to the first slide, I have a question. Yeah, let's do that. No, actually, we'll do it at the end. Here's my question though. Who can tell me the Florida law, the chapter site that governs the practice of massage therapy? That's right. Good job. All right. Awesome. Okay. One more question before we go on. Who can tell me the rules site in the Florida Administrative Code? I see a hand right here on the second row. No. No. All right. Over here. Second row. That's right. 64B7 is the chapter rule in the Florida Administrative Code. All right. So the first thing you need to know is you need to know the laws and rules that govern the practice of massage therapy. First and foremost, a strong knowledge of the Practice Act is essential for your success, for you to remain in good standing with the Department of Health and with the Florida Board of Massage Therapy. You also need to stay up to date on any changes that may occur in the law and in the rules. The best way to do that is by being a member of the FSMTA, because they come to every single one of our board meetings. We meet quarterly. They come to every meeting, and immediately after each meeting, even our phone meetings that we have, they broadcast, they send out an email blast to tell you anything you need to know that may be changing. As members of the FSMTA, we all receive the massage message, okay? We get that every other month, as Lynn has told us. And in the back of the publication, every single edition, there's a detailed page of things that took place at the board meeting. Any changes that occur in the laws and rules are going to be right there in writing for you to know. Number 2, do not work without a license, okay? How many of you are students? Okay. How many of you have applied for a license but you're waiting on it still? Okay. a few. So here's what's important to know. You can't work until you get that license, right? Doesn't that sound pretty simple? Well, you would be really surprised to know. That's why we have this in our top 10, because this happens all the time. People apply and they go out and work. Don't do that. Wait till you get your license, and it needs to be a clear and active license. What's a clear and active license? Clear and active license is a license that's issued for the very first time with no conditions or encumbrances, or a license that has been renewed timely with all the requirements met for that renewal. Number 3, do not work at an unlicensed massage establishment. Again, some of these things sound pretty simple, but you would be amazed at how many cases we get. So whether you're employed at or whether you are an independent contractor at an establishment, you want to make sure visually, with your own eyes, get a copy of the license. You want to make sure that they have a massage establishment license. That's the MM number, okay? The therapist has an MA number, the establishment has an MM number. Okay, utilize the licensure verification website and make it a habit to check up on your establishment. Every establishment, every location where you work has to have that license. So on September 1st, you need to make sure that that license has a new date on it for their expiration, okay? What's wrong? Why September 1st? Because we all have to renew August 31st every odd year, okay? If your establishment owner hasn't renewed their license, you better make sure that you're asking them questions. As Bob says, ask them questions. Have you renewed? Have you renewed? Get on the website and check it out. If you work past the deadline, if you work past September, if you're working in an establishment on September 1st that's not licensed, you are in violation, okay? And if an inspector comes into that establishment, there's going to be some problems, and you will possibly be prosecuted for working at an unlicensed establishment, okay? A lot of times, those particular violations are not caught until months after the deadline. So all this time passes, and that means that there's more fines and more costs that are going to have to be paid to fulfill your requirements for that discipline. Not to mention that you'll have a permanent record on your licensure record. Okay, number 5, proof. Singing. If I were singing it, all right. Number 4, know the rules if you plan to operate a massage establishment. 2 significant areas where the board sees disciplinary cases where a massage therapist is operating an unlicensed business. Maybe they're working out of their home. Oh, I didn't know. Well, you all know. If you're doing massage therapy in your own home, you must have a massage establishment license. The second place is that a lot of times the establishment owners hire people to do massage therapy that aren't licensed. Number 1, you don't want to be working in an establishment that has unlicensed activity going on, okay? That is one of the top things that this board frowns upon. All right, number 5, proofread all of your advertisements about your services. Plain and simple. If you are a massage therapist advertising for services, you must put your MA number on any advertisement, your business card, your letterhead, etc., okay? If you are advertising massage therapy services at a specified address or a business location, you must have the MM number, okay? When in doubt, use both. If you change your practice location or your MM number for any reason, you need to make sure that you cancel any prepaid packages for advertising that you've paid for, and you need to make sure that you get documentation and proof that you've made that cancellation. If that publication goes out anyways, then you're still held accountable for that. And if that happens, then you may be issued a citation for failure to include the license number. Citations typically carry a $250 penalty, okay? If you get a citation, do not ignore it, okay? Number 6, notify the board if you move. This is really simple, okay? But a lot of people get into trouble here. The Department of Health is not obligated to notify us about renewal, but they do so approximately 90 days before the period ends, the renewal period ends. We get out a notification reminding us, hey, it's time to renew, okay? If you don't get that notice and you don't renew because you have moved 1 or 2 or 3 times and the department sends out that notice at the last address of record, you're not going to get your notification. But you know what? It's still your responsibility to renew your license on time. So you need to make sure that you do this. Every single time you move, you notify the board. And what we mean by an add-on charge is that a lot of times, if somebody doesn't renew their license goes into a delinquent status, they keep working. Then they're practicing on a delinquent license. That's unlicensed practice of massage therapy, okay? And typically what happens is that this other charge of not changing the address is also added on to the prosecution of the case. Okay, number 7. Number 7. This is probably the most important slide tonight for some of you. How many are licensed? That's a lot. Good to have you guys. That's awesome. Okay, renew correctly, renew timely. Okay, you all, it's been drummed into your head how many hours you have to get for your renewal. And for people that haven't been licensed for 2 years, you need to make sure you're getting 1 hour for every month you've been licensed. Okay, and you need to fulfill the requirements of the required courses first. Okay, now for new people, you know that there's 2 courses that you don't have to take because you just finished school, right? Yep. Which 2 courses do you not have to take to renew? Pink shirt.
Ethics and HIV.
Okay, she just said 3 classes. She gave 3 classes. She said laws, ethics, and HIV/AIDS. Which 2 do you not have to take?
Ethics and laws.
Okay, right there in the front, white shirt. Which 2 do you not have to take?
Ethics and laws.
No. Right here. No. Let's try over here. Green shirt. That's 1 class. Okay, we're not getting given out a shirt this time. I'm disappointed. The 2 classes that you do not have to take if you have just been licensed are laws and rules. That's 1 class. And HIV/AIDS. Okay?
Ethics, not you have to take HIV.
Ms. Vice Chair, don't they have to take ethics?
No.
No, there's 3 classes they don't have to take? Yeah, then she gets it.
Now we all get it.
So you have to take the HIV/AIDS. Okay. See, I don't get a t-shirt. That's for sure. Okay. No, well. Okay, so here's the 2 problems if you don't renew correctly, okay? First, your license, as I said before, your license goes into a delinquent status, and a lot of people keep on working. If your license goes into a delinquent status, do not work, okay? You work, you are in violation. Don't work. You got to provide the appropriate fees, $105 renewal, which used to be $155. Plus a $150 delinquent fee, and then you still have to prove that you have finished all your CE requirements. So do not wait until the last minute to get all your CEs. Okay? Yes, ma'am. Yes. And if you've been issued your license, you need to make sure you look at it. If you were issued a license after April 1st of this year, when do you renew?
13.
That's right. You don't have to renew August of this year. Isn't that nice? Okay. All right, so you want to make sure that you're not practicing on a delinquent license. Again, if you do, a citation may be issued, $250. You just don't want all the hassle, okay? You need to do it right. The second thing that people do when renewing improperly is that they submit a check to the Department of Health that bounces, okay? You have to have sufficient funds in your account if you're going to write a check. That's just, okay. But if you do this, then you could be found for renewing your license under fraudulent means. And I don't know if you want to miss this part, but that's a hefty fine, $1,000 plus investigative and legal costs. Okay, do it right. All right. And again, if you get a citation, don't ignore it. Number 8. This goes along with the previous slide. Maintain all of your CE certificates. Okay? You need to make sure that you have proof for all your coursework that you've completed. Don't rely on someone else to report your hours. Check in with cebroker.com to make sure that everything has been reported and recorded properly. Some classes are live, some aren't. Make sure that you're getting the right balance of what you need in order to fulfill the requirements, okay? Fines and penalties for attempting to renew, this is even worse. Fines and penalties for attempting to renew a license by fraud, making a false or fraudulent representation can reach as high as $10,000 and revocation of your license, okay? Don't get caught at renewal time without your continuing education requirements being met. A random audit is performed every single cycle after renewal, and licensees are selected randomly, but if the CE broker has everything in order, you've already checked to make sure that all your hours have been recorded properly, you have nothing to worry about. If CE broker doesn't have everything in there, then they come to you. They issue a citation. You get a citation, don't ignore it, okay? You need to follow up on everything that it says. You need to make sure that you've got everything in order. Okay, number 9. Do not have sexual relations with clients, okay? The board has no tolerance for this. It is not acceptable, period. Okay? There is not a more clear way I can say this. Don't do it. It's not appropriate, and it is illegal. Number 10, report all of your legal issues to the board. Being convicted or found guilty, regardless of adjudication, any plea of no contest shall be considered a conviction. You have to report these convictions within 30 days to the board. Okay? A lot of times, you don't want to. You just want to make sure that you maintain appropriate contact with the board on all of your legal issues. Okay? This law requires notification to the board of any crime which directly relates to the practice of massage therapy. Okay? Also, you're obligated. This is something personally that really is important to me, but we're all bound by this. It's in law. It's in Chapter 456. If you know of a person who is in violation of our Practice Act, you must notify the board. You must report that. Okay, it's not tattletaling. You know what it's doing? It's protecting the public. And we are all bound when we become a licensed massage therapist. We provide health care. You know, we want to help people. We don't want people being hurt. So you need to make sure that if you know of somebody who is in violation of our Practice Act, that you report them. All right, well, we have had some good... Oh, yes? You,
Okay, for the charges that you speak of there, you have these charges prior to being licensed as a model.
you have charges prior to being licensed. You're going to be asked that question on your application for licensure. Okay, so you will report that at that time. Okay? All right, well, we've had so far, we have another question. Okay. Yes, sir.
Regarding license before April, when you have to renew in 2011. It's just one TEU per month, but do you have to do the required work as part of those? Or is it just one per month regardless the first time, and when you go to the 24, the requirements?
That's a really good question that I am not going to answer. And I'll tell you why. Recently, the board was, we were requested a declaratory statement regarding that. And the answer, what the board has decided is that when you are licensed for less than the 2-year period, you want to get the specific required classes first, and then if you still need more hours, then get the rest of them. Now, I don't know the reason why I don't want to answer that in an affirmative is because I'm not sure if there's enforcement on that. So if you could see me afterwards, I'll get your information so that I can get that answered for you.
Okay, because at our chapter meeting, there was a question, since I fall into that category, I just want to be sure.
Well, and that's why the board was petitioned for the declaratory statement, because there has been confusion. And so the answer is yes. You need to get the required classes first, but again, I don't know how that's going to be enforced. So get the required classes first, and then anything else you need, if you still need hours, you can go to the other areas. All right.
Even though, I mean, I might see a good idea, I just want to know absolutely.
Come see me after. Right. Okay. All right. And you guys, I'm going to be around. We've had some great speakers tonight, and we've got more to come. Really, I'm honored to be up here sharing this with them. But, I'm the one who has to come up here, be the mom, and shake my finger and say, don't do that, don't do that. But, it's so important, you guys, to follow our laws and rules exactly the way they are written, because they're there to protect the citizens of Florida. Okay? The Florida Board of Massage Therapy members are very compassionate and giving people, but we have a very, very strong stance on protecting the citizens of Florida, and that's why it's so important that you listen when you get you get the finger shaken at you. So just don't make these mistakes, okay? Now you're all aware of them, and you can't say, oh, I didn't know, because you do know. You have access to the Florida laws and rules online 24/7. Okay, you have access as a member of the FSMTA to any information you need regarding our laws and rules. So if you have any questions this week while you're here, we'll be in booth 514. Myself, our vice chair is here. We've got another board member. And on Friday, we have 2 inspectors from the Department of Health that are going to be here in the booth answering questions about inspections and establishments. Okay, so be smart, be informed. Be an active member in the FSMTA, because that information is right at your fingertips. Yeah, it's a pun, but it is so true. And these are wonderful people that disseminate the information that you need. So be smart, be informed, and be a success.